There you go, Auburn family. Welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about something in the Auburn family spectrum. Always heavy with sports here on this channel, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Thank you so much for joining us on this live stream, albeit a very somber, a very sad live stream. Your Auburn Tigers do fall to the Alabama Crimson Tide by the score of 49-21. In the Iron Bowl, the greatest rivalry in college sports, the greatest rivalry probably in sports in general. We can have that debate another time, but the Tigers do fall to the Alabama Crimson Tide, effectively ending the Tigers' season, ending at 5-7 on the year. There is probably a minimal chance that a 5-17 would make a bowl game. So this is the end of the road for the Tigers. This is the end of the road for Cadillac for now, in terms of in an interim head coaching position. We'll talk some more about that in live streams in the future. And that is what we're going to really focus on in this stream, is post-game reaction to the Iron Bowl. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your derogatory rebuttals. I'm sure there is a lot of it tonight. So please do interact with us. Let us know that you are here. Let's start off, in fact, with that whole process that we like to do every single show. If you're watching live or on the replay right now, make sure you smash the like button, you hit the tweet button, share button, however you'd like to. Help us spread the word that we are live, that people can join in on the show. We'd love to hear from you tonight. I'm all kind of checking if you see looking down a lot. We're in a different setup in a different location. So you guys let me know if the connection is good or not. If there's an issue, I can switch over to something else. But I think we're okay for now. Check in right now, post all or hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. But we'll check in by letting us know where you're watching from. City State International with a War Eagle. Let us know that you're here hanging out with us, spending some time talking about this game, albeit on a very, very sad note. So let me, before I start saying hello to a bunch of you guys and kind of hitting on the topic of a reaction show for this game, let me kind of address the elephant in the room. Yes, there are a lot of conversations around our coaching situation currently, around what will be taking place over the next coming hours, days, maybe not days, but just the next little while of us waiting. And there's a lot of conversation around freeze with the news that reportedly Lane Kiffin will not be taking a head coaching job at Auburn. On this live stream, we're not going to be diving into that a lot, if any. So try to save that if you can. There will be another live stream coming up as soon as that news officially breaks, where we'll cover that type of stuff. So please do save that for then. You guys will bear with me for just a second. I can tell that my thing is cutting in and out on this. So we're going to switch over to the iPhone, because I think that is going to be a little bit easier. So stand by for just 1 second. Looks like it's a little bit more stable. Okay, I think we are back. Let me know if you guys are seeing me in the chat. That live stream was just a little bit on the wonky side, so I want to make sure that we are back live with you guys. Okay, give me a thumbs up, or you can like the video, but give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Everything's good. It looks good on my end. We'll press forward now, because I thought that was going to be a little bit of a bad stream for you guys. Better. There we go. All right. That's kind of what I figured. Here we go. All right. Let's talk about this topic, this game. So the topic of Hugh Freeze and all that, we're going to save for another day. There are a lot of opinions and a lot of things being shared. A lot of them, frankly, off base and not being very they're being very one-sided, but we'll save those for another. They're going to focus solely on the game for right now. So let's do that. What are the things that you guys want to talk about in this particular game? I know there's a lot of bad things. I think the two things that stick out, one really good thing, can we just give my man Robbie Ashford some credit for throwing a beautiful bomb of a touchdown pass that we haven't seen him do much, if at all. And that was a really incredible thing to see. I think it's still going in and out, guys. I apologize if this not going well. I think it's a little bit better. I can't tell. I know that the streaming thing here may be a little bit subject, and I apologize for that. But that was one of the biggest moments. The biggest disappointment for this, honestly, was the whole non-callback on the non-fumble, which was very, very frustrating. You guys have been here for a long time with me, and I personally, especially this part of my life, try to focus more on what we could have done. Is it say I'm in the basement? No. Is it still bad, Neil? Let me know. If the Wi-Fi is still bad, I can try to switch back over, but we seem to have been having some problems on that side as well. It's kind of hard to tell. I just think I hate to make excuses for, refs and stuff like that. I hate to say that the game was altered in any way by that one call, but it's kind of hard not to make that case when you see some angles that are very clearly the ball not being touched and it was not a fumble. Video is worse than the audio. Okay. All right. Guys, I apologize. Okay. I'm going to switch back one more time and let's see if we can get this thing righted. Now, there are a lot of people on the Wi-Fi here at where I am. That could be part of the problem. All right, we are back, I think. As you come back into the stream, stand by. We're going to try and see if this gets any better now. There are people leaving the house, so I do think that our Wi-Fi at least will open up a little bit more. I know people said the audio was a little bit better. Again, I apologize for the the nature of the live stream right now, trying to kind of get through some on the road kinks that we always have to work through here. So if you've got me back, let me know. We're going to probably just press forward with this. If not, we'll try something else. I know we're keep saying we're going to get into discussing this, but we keep trying to get, much like our offense was tonight at times, get going, but it's hard to kind of through those things. All right, let's see. You asked the question, would firing Harsin be best for Auburn? It was a great question. The way Caddy rallied the team since Halloween, the answer is resounding yes. Thank you, Lack. Yeah, I think it's very easy to kind of take a step back and go, things tended to trend in the right direction or the better direction after the firing. I also don't know that you can definitively say that things wouldn't have gotten better under Coach Harsin, although I do think that we got to the point where you had to probably make a change. So that is kind of, I agree with that things got better. So probably it was the right call, but I also don't kind of heavy on the notion that he wouldn't have gotten the ship righted or anything like that. All right, let me skip forward a little bit here. Again, as a reminder, we're not going to be down to the head coach situations on this live stream, so you guys can carry that on in chat, but we won't be really addressing a lot of those here. Let's see here. It's very sportsmanlike to just go ahead and end the game with 5 seconds and our QB shaken up. I actually didn't watch the last couple of seconds of that, but if that's what happened, congrats to them. Yeah, I addressed this at the beginning of the show. I think you guys are talking about it. Auburn's likely not going to a bowl game. There is a very rare case at the same time 5 and 7 teams going in certain situations. I don't know where we stand in that, so I'm really not going to worry about that for now because it's likely not an option for Auburn. Let's see here. Just read that we have scored more points on Alabama than any other team this year, with the exception of Tennessee and LSU. Can't be sad about that given our year. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I would tend to agree that there are a lot of things positive-wise that you can take away from this game. They did not give up. They did not back down. they tried their hardest and went out there. And frankly, if it wasn't for some mistakes on our part, one on the ref as well, we would have probably, at least for longer portions of the game, been actually in the game. But it's hard to really fight back and not make further mistakes when you've already put yourself in such a hole. We looked okay overall considering the season, and 100-plus UAT comps in attendance, War Eagle. I'm proud of Caddy and the team for fighting to the end with class. There you go. May thank you to Caddy for this past month. Fun to watch Auburn. Absolutely. I am always going to preach about my love for Cadillac Williams, how much I have admired him in my childhood, admire him now in my, I was about to say youth, but it's not youth. I'm getting old. As an adult, how much I've admired as well. I would love to see this continue in some facet with Caddy. He means a lot to this program, even outside of being a coach, and hopefully we can do that. So we're still catching up here on the stream. Seems to be stopping and starting. Let me know if it's unbearable, and we can try to make a switch back. But I don't, for whatever reason, I tested out the Wi-Fi situation here several different ways. It wasn't giving me a problem yesterday, and now it seems to be giving me a problem. At least we have bass fishing. Yes, you can always look to good old bass fishing for giving you good things. There are plenty of reasons to be happy with being an Auburn fan. Let's see. Robbie Ashford looked like a quarterback today at least. Where does that go? I think the future for him looks bright. Yeah, so those are a lot of big conversations that we can have coming up here about, obviously, coaching situations, who's staying, who's leaving, what's the future at quarterback for Auburn. Robbie showed some, good things today. I think were very impressed that pass that he threw into the end. Robbie Ashford doesn't make that pass earlier in the season, and that's not a dig at him. That's just saying his youth and inexperience at that position. That was a beautiful throw to his wide receiver in a moment where you really had to have it, because Alabama at that point is 21-7. Got it back within one score. Absolutely great on his part to be able to knock that down, and very, very happy with him. His run game, the things that we are accustomed to with Robbie in this game, we saw a lot of, and that's obviously something to be commended. So he was 11 for 23 on the day, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, 90.3 rating as a quarterback rating that he had, right around that 50% completion markage. On the day, rushing wise, we had Robbie Ashford, 17 carries for 121 yards, Cam Newton type numbers there. So exactly what you kind of thought you were going to get out of Robbie. I said that if we could get 150 yards passing out of Robbie, we'd be in a really good position, and we did not do that. So no shock to me that we would struggle as much as we did there. Let's see. If we were offered a bowl game, yeah, obviously you would want to take that if you can, but that's here nor there at this moment. Am I being held hostage? Yeah, I look, I know that I'm on the road with family, guys. I apologize that I know that the Wi-Fi situation is not great, and I am a little bit frustrated. I think you probably can tell by that in the stream that I can't get this going. To be as good here. Play twice if I need to send help. No, I'm good. I'm in a very safe place. Just the internet quality obviously is not up to par as where it needs to be. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees this, but Robbie reminds me a lot of Nick Marshall, especially if we upgrade his throwing game over the offseason. I'm seeing this comparison a lot, and it's a very easy comparison to make, right? That Robbie and Nick Marshall kind of go hand in hand with what they do really well. The difference is, and Nick had 2 seasons to kind of perfect this. Nick, by this point, was a lot better passer. Again, not a knock on Robbie. Love the dude. Love the fight in him. Love what he provides to this team this year. I am kind of getting a little bit, what's the good word to talk about this? Irritated? No, not irritated. just kind of done with comparing players to past players because that puts a lot of weight on them. I know that's not what the intention is in making that, but just kind of like, well, they seem like this player. If they don't meet up to that expectation, then they were a failure. And I don't think that's fair to Robbie. And I know that's not what you're trying to do. Robbie's got a long way to go to meet that expectation. Jackson, like I'm talking about, he didn't have a great throwing day, but that's kind of to, be the thing there. So I see a lot of you guys are posting that the hiring is official. If that is the case, we will probably come back right after that. The problem is that this internet situation up here where I am has been not so great, so we might have to rearrange. So just stand by for that if you can. I'm looking on Twitter and stuff, and I'm not seeing anything official from the university in terms of hiring or anything like that. Just double checking here just to make sure before we get too far in the stream. So yeah, like I said, we're not going to really, focus on that right now. Was beat up at the end of the game? Absolutely, he was. Like someone pointed out earlier, it was a classy move for them to kind of just kneel it down after he had kind of been rewarded, essentially. One thing I will not question ever is Robbie's fight, desire, drive to be here and to put his all on the line. And that is very commendable to him. I was very impressed with his lack of experience that he had and what he was able to do with that and be effective and kind of put the Tigers in a position where they were able to be, for some parts of this game, very competitive. I think we all kind of walked into this game, felt like Alabama would just start scoring and we'd try to have to catch up the entire time. But we actually, for a while there, were doing decently enough to where we could be able to, look like we were getting run over, even though it got a little bit out of hand at times there. Good to see a lot of you guys checking in here. Okay. What else stuck out to you guys from this game? A lot of classless Bammers on here, it seems. Really? I haven't seen them. Unless they're getting muted or something on here. Yeah, I don't know. You talking about on Facebook or on Twitter? I mean, that's just everywhere. The call. Let's talk about the call a little bit more. This not to overturn the non-fumble on the punt return. It was a bad call from every angle that we've seen now. It should have never been called, much less should it have never been overturned. The problem was they ruled a fumble. And you needed indisputable evidence. Now, some of those that we've seen seem to show us that we had that, but they didn't have it at them for whatever reason. It's just, you should never be in those positions where it affects you that greatly. I continue to say that I don't like to make excuses about the ref situation, but this wasn't a very pivotal moment in the game. I think at the time it allowed Alabama to go up by 2 scores again, if I have that correct, if not a third score, and kind of effectively put Auburn in an almost untenable situation. It was bad. One of the top worst calls I've ever seen. Yeah. That'll go down in some of the bad calls there that we've ever seen. All in all, kind of going back to Robbie too, I'm just kind of, things are coming back to mind here. We did see him, even in a not so great passing day, have some moments there where he kind of spread the ball around to some people, did some decent things on the run. I remember a pass to Coy Moore that went really well there, Javaris Johnson. So some things really, that I take away from this a little bit more impressed with Robbie overall. Is Tank gone? You're saying Taken's gone? Has he confirmed that? I mean, the conventional wisdom would tell you that he's not coming back, but yeah. Do you think Jarquez will be our starting running back next year, or is it possible that Tank's come back for 1 year? So that's what your response to. You should just plan on Tank leaving this year. I think that's the smart money. I think Jarquez has proven his worth even with a fumble tonight. Very frustrating to see that happen. Let me talk about some other frustrations too really quickly while it's on my mind. You know, false starts, false starts, false starts. Not just by offensive linemen, by our running back, Tank, by our tight ends at times. I think wide receiver had a false start. It just are mistakes that cannot happen at all in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Absolutely cannot happen. It was very frustrating. But does Jarquez become the starting running back? Yes. You should just plan for that to happen. And you've got a lot of talent. You've got Damari Alston back there. You still got Sean Jackson, who's, I think, still available. Jordan Ingram, but you're bringing in a guy like Jeremiah Cobb if he follows through with his commitment. There's a lot of room in the running back room right now. Yeah, I agree. But, listen, I have, for the past 2 years or so that we've been doing this YouTube channel regularly, been talking ad nauseum, and I've been doing it before that in my personal life about how frustrated I am with our offensive line, upperclassmen especially. I'm just kind of done talking. Done talking about it, I guess now. It was still frustrating to see it happen in this game. These guys are now on their way out of Auburn, and I them for their time here, and I just hate it was not a different story for them. We saw some improvement over the last couple of games, but some things continue to just be an issue. And it is time, unfortunately, for a fresh start. And I hate that because I love every one of these Auburn guys, and I wish the story had been for them. 6 false starts in one game. It felt like more than that to me. Think Tank's draft status is where it could be? I don't understand that question, Rob. I don't really understand the question. I'm sorry. We're going to focus on the game right here. What else from this game? No pass rush. Yeah, that was really interesting to see tonight. How limited our pass rush was at time. Now, let's remember that the injury bug hit us big time tonight. Like, just devastated us. It's like Derek Hall going down a little bit early, coming back in. I think it was Morris Joseph went down at one point. Marquise Burks. We were already a little thin at that position, and to see that continue to happen is not going to help you maintain continuity. So frustrated for them that fighting against them, frustrated that it happened at the worst possible moment, but you still have shown over the past couple of games that you can get a better pass rush. This Alabama offline was decent, right? They have a really good quarterback back there in Bryce Young, who can be very smart with how he aligns his guys, the decisions he makes to avoid some of the pressure, but we just get a lot of pressure. So credit goes to Alabama for negating us, basically, in all facets of that part of the game. Really proud of Cadillac, absolutely. We do not walk away from this in any way upset with Cadillac. Do you question some of the decisions? I think a lot of people questioning the field goal kicks and whether you do that or not. Distance was so far away at that point when we got first field goal because we had a penalty to push us back to like 4th and 17. It was a no-win situation no matter what you do. People are going to be happy you kick the field goals. People are going to be unhappy if you don't go for if you go for the points, meaning the touchdown there. It's a no-win situation. Bama's not going to the playoffs, so it's a good year. That's one way to think about it. Always find the silver lining, right? But don't count them out just yet, sir. I'm just I don't agree with that statement. And thanks for checking in. Love seeing Owen Papo get a pick. Did anybody think that wasn't a pick? Did you see enough from that think it bounced off the turf? I mean, I'm not complaining. Obviously, it was kind of a get back for that situation. But I think it was a little close. A little close. Happy to see more touchdowns and field goals. Absolutely. That was a nice plus thing. That was it was encouraging to see us, even though we got down, continuing to be able to move the ball, drive the ball, go for touchdowns, that type of thing. That was very encouraging throughout this game in a very hostile environment, in a very bad situation. Fought hard, just didn't have the horses. And how impressive would it have been if we had pulled off a win given that circumstance that you're talking about? It would have been really, really impressive. Our kicker needed experience for this year. It's not like we're going to catch up with Bama anyway at that point. And that's a fair point. And, you know, I think that's one of the things that I was struggling with, because I always kind of believe there's a chance if we manage this, you know, there, and we got the ball back with like 5 minutes left and we're still just running the ball. I'm kind of like, hey guys, why aren't we throwing it? I know it hasn't been that successful for it, but we need to manage the clock here. I think at that point, Caddy and the coaching staff are probably just thinking, look, do what we know it works. If it gets a touchdown, then we can make decisions like onside kicks and things like that. You just got into a really bad situation overall. Anyone see Stevie Wonder? Well played. Well played. Let's see. Instead of going for every fourth down. Interesting comments there. All right, I'm trying to think of other things from the game that we need to talk about. We've hit on the offensive line false starts, but everybody else false starts as well, which really, I think, honestly, when you look at this game, you're going to look at the penalties, the unforced penalties, especially the false starts, because Alabama had some penalties called on them as well, some that were shocking at times to me that actually happened. You look at the 2 turnovers there, and the ball was dropped a couple other times as well. It was really just a case of Auburn got some goods going on offense, enough to maybe somewhat keep pace with Alabama, but continue to bite themselves in the butt and not be able to get out of their own way. Miles says no quit in this group. I agree. Happy to see a return to Smash Mouth football. Yeah, I like that. I love Smash Mouth, you know, run focused offense, but at the same time, you've got to be able to keep pace, or if you can't stop the other guys on offense. That was one of my concerns tonight. It wasn't so much was Auburn going to be able to score. That was a question too, is were we going to be able to stop them? And the question and the answer was no tonight. Analytics suggest a field goal, I think. Put a 2-score game at that, but a 2-score game at that point. Yeah, maybe so. Dusty, thank you so much for that super chat, sir, for making it through 3 hours of Gary. That makes it well worth it, sir. I appreciate that very much. And you know, hopefully, I've got to figure out a better Wi-Fi situation at this location, because there is an opportunity, there's a chance in the future that we might have to do from here. Not often, but when I travel, one of the great things about doing what I do is I have some flexibility. We're able to go visit family members as we are over the holidays. I have to kind of do what I can in terms of a setup and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So thank you guys for your patience. Let's see. We did win a trophy today. I'm glad that everybody can find some humor in that. That is the one thing that you will figure out from this game that is good, that we can all agree on. Auburn, Alabama fans, it's the last time that Gary voice will be singing it over the Iron Bowl, at least as far as we know right now. Now they'll go out and hire now, which will be very frustrating. I am not in Clint's basement, believe it or not. I know Clint surprised you all a few weeks back, but yeah, it didn't happen this time around. Isn't it interesting to see the Bama players that were bleeding tonight and got, you know, dinged up? Auburn had a lot of injuries that took guys off the field for, you know, extended plays and drives and stuff like that. But Alabama was just bleeding galore out there. I've heard of leaving it all out there. My goodness, people. What was up with his face hair? His face got dinged up when he got hit by a player's face mask or shoulder pad, I think, on the play one time. But yes, I know this is the hard-hitting commentary that they look for here, but I even thought something was a little off with his hair and stuff tonight. And people that I was with like, he just looks weird tonight. You're asking about Tank in the draft. Where do you think he'll land? Not certain his numbers have been that we hope. I don't know. Frankly, at this point for Tank, I don't know that it's a matter of where he goes. He will go in the draft. And I think if he goes in the draft, that this team, whatever team picks up, will get a steal, probably in the lower round, in the non-first or second round. Maybe he gets up there if he does really well at the combine. People have really good tape on him, and they'll take into the fact that he played with an offensive line that wasn't able to help him a whole lot. I don't know. It'll be something to watch this offseason. Am I making frozen silly faces? That's fun. At least that's entertaining. Like I said, for those of you here that are getting here later, the thing started bad because it would like freeze on one end. I switched over to the other, and it's not working either. It's just really weird right now. So you're going to have to deal with what we got right now. Here's another little storyline tonight. Got to hear Stan White sign off the AU for last night. See, that's one of the things that I hate that I miss in moments like this. I love doing these live streams with you guys, but I miss things like that after the game. I was shocked by that. Anybody know the reason why? I mean, it's interesting. Very, very interesting. Auburn legend in many ways, on the field, on the radio. Gonna miss him. Well played. Yeah, he's finished doing the radio. I don't know. That's interesting, right? Because we saw him and Rod be there for so long, and it seems like he and Andy had pretty good rapport. So I'm not like insinuating anything there, but it's interesting the timing that's happening. You know, maybe he's just got something that he wants to do in life. But I hate that Stan White's last Auburn game that he'll call is that. And now it's raining here, folks, heavily, apparently. I think it is. I don't know. I can't tell. Next time you're at his house, do you actually know him? That'd be cool to get a little inside scoop. All right. What else? I know the stream has not been great in the stream quality, and I appreciate you guys' patience here. What else on your mind from this game? Do you think? Oh, that's a good question. Do you bring Jason Campbell to the booth? I think in terms of logistics, that makes the most sense. But I also wonder, does Brad Law come up there with Andy, because they already do a lot of other things together? That would be kind of what I wonder. But I think it'd be cool to see like a Jason Campbell come up there. Continue to see him move up in the ranks from on. You work in his yard? Interesting. All right. What other things stuck out to you guys from this game? Post them now in the chat. We'll keep plugging away here, but we'll try to kind of get to an end of the show. Let me see here. All right. If you guys haven't, please do check out some of the links in the description for ways you can help support our content. If you have not, you need to be subscribed. Promise that the live stream quality is usually better than this. But we are having a subscriber giveaway going on right now. You got to be subscribed. Journey to 5,000 subscribers. We're about to 3,000. Help us do that. Would love to like end the year above 3,000. So help us do that if you can. But check out the other links in the description. You can be a channel member. You can be a Booster Club member. All those things are available to you guys. So please check them out. You can do super chat like Dusty did a little while ago. Appreciate that, brother. And many other things. I will give you a reminder for schedule. Be ready to go live again, folks. This is with the coach. Could be coming, imminently. Who knows when it's going to actually drop. So just stay tuned for that. We will do a live stream tomorrow after the basketball game at some point. He's not your brother, is he? Don't pretend. Yes, we will all be back here again soon, hopefully, with some interesting news to discuss on that front. All right. Guys, it looks like we have covered the majority of what you guys want to talk about. The fitting call, Robbie's great pass is good, pretty good performance overall. The Tigers dropped this one, and Neil, don't mess with me. If he's your brother, I'm going to be really jealous that I've lived this near to you this entire time, and you've been the brother to Stan White. I'm gonna be super jealous. But just stay tuned because we've got a lot of stuff coming out for you guys this week, and like I said, we've hit a lot of the different things here. Thank y'all for sticking with me through the stream. Not a fun Iron Bowl post game, but we've got lots of other content to discuss coming up very soon for the Auburn Tigers, for football, other sports, and anything really orange and blue. So we appreciate you guys being here with us. I'll talk to you again.